Oh boy, look at that. We back on a Saturday night. What a Saturday night to jump back in on, right? LSU offense is still struggling out here in these people's streets, and that's baseball. And I was coming on here to talk about football, but baseball gets run ruled. Run ruled. We get run ruled today in Oxford. We get run ruled. Absolutely miserable. I just wanted us to win this series going into my birthday, but you can't have everything that you want. So it just is what it is. I get that. Not gonna be able to really wear my chain until next week. That's okay. I got a chain that I'm gonna rock on Monday. Got a chain for Monday. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for my birthday on Monday. Got a chain I'm gonna bust out on Monday. What up, Unc? Appreciate you for being here, man. I know it's late. Thank you for tapping in with me this evening. But I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Yeah, we lost. It is real. It is what it is at this point. We went through it with David and Zach on Go Deep Dive. Excuse me, feel a little hoarse. But I wanted to talk about this LSU scrimmage, and I know that there's a lot of scuttle and fuss going on right now, all on X, all on social media about the reports coming out and how the offense struggled. The offense should have struggled. I would have been more alarmed and concerned if the offense did not struggle. Oh, wait till coffee and tea Monday morning. Oh, you wait. You wait. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Um, it's I would have been more concerned had the offense not struggled. I would have been concerned with that. I would have been more concerned with that. That would have been alarming to me. Why? Well, let's look at it in the simplest of terms. You have a defensive staff that's all coming back outside of your defensive line coach. And you bring in a guy in Sterling Lucas who has gotten a lot more out of his edges at South Carolina than what you've been getting out of yours at LSU. Your secondary, while the depth is not there, the depth in the secondary is not there. They are absolutely elite. So if your secondary is elite, what do you think that's going to do to an offense that wants to spread the ball around? It's going to make them struggle. They should struggle. The offense should be miles behind the defense right now for a multitude of reasons, all of which we are going to touch on. And this won't be a long show. It's 10 o'clock. I know you say late is great for you, Unc, but it's Saturday night. It's 10 o'clock. I got church in the morning. I got two church services to go to. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get my coffee and tea stream in between, but we going to make it work. Gonna be consistent in that. I'm not gonna miss a morning with y'all. But look at the defense that you have. Your defensive line can be an Achilles heel because you have a bunch of unknowns. And I've talked about this going into spring. You have a lot of high ceiling, young, athletic players, but not too much veteran depth. Your most experienced player is Prince William Yellen, who hasn't played a snap for LSU. But he comes in having already had almost double-digit sacks in the SEC. Your linebacker room is the most full, complete room that you have as far as experience, youthful upside, and depth. And then your secondary, your front line starters from both corners, all three of your safeties, Free, Star, and Strong, is probably the best secondary in the country. And then your coaching staff. Who the hell has a better staff than this on defense that's returning? So all of the advantages were pushed to the defensive side of the ball. They should be ahead. They should be far and away ahead of the offense. On offense, you returned one receiver, 0 quarterbacks, 4 offensive linemen, 5 offensive linemen. Braylon Moore, Brett Bo Bordelon, Weston Davis, and Solomon Thomas. You returned 5 offensive linemen. And Solomon Thomas hasn't even been out there because he still has a boot on his foot. So 5 offensive linemen, 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, no quarterbacks. And the entire coaching staff on offense is brand new to LSU. Now, while they don't have to get accustomed to coaching together, they have to get acclimated to coaching this roster. And that's going to take some time. That's going to take time. And then in the biggest position group of all, you're missing who will be your starting quarterback. And look, I know we all saw the highlights of Landon Clark. And all of us started to buy in well, maybe he can push Sam Levitt to. I'm not going to say all of us. I love Landon Clark, and I think he's a serviceable quarterback who will develop to be the guy at some point. Landon Clark has never went up against DJ Pickett. Landon Clark has never seen a Ty Benefield. Landon Clark has never seen a Deshaun Spears. Landon Clark has never played across from a Whit Weeks, a TJ Dotery, on the line with a Prince Umamielin. Landon Clark has not seen this level of a defense, and he's seeing it every single day in practice. And while he's seeing it, he's learning a new system, getting a feel for new coaches, and developing a relationship with new wide receivers. It's a lot. Why do I think that this offense – so if Sam Levitt was out there, do I think that this offense would have had more success versus the defense today? Yes, absolutely. Sam Levitt is a better player. He's more experienced. He's played at a higher level of competition than what Landon Clark and Hassan Longstreet have. And he's done so at a high level. It's not like he was just a slouch. He is a playmaking quarterback. He has the potential to be a first-round quarterback if he is successful. I've already come out and gone out on a limb and said to put him in New York. Full season healthy in this offense with Lane Kiffin and the weapons that he's surrounded in, I have nothing but high expectations for Sam Levitt. I mean, hell, we're paying him $10 million. We should have high expectations. So if I believe we have a potential Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who's not practicing right now, why would I expect the offense to be any better than what it is? We saw the clips and highlights of Landon Clark. And we all started dubbing him the second coming of Trinidad Chambliss. That's not fair. Even Trinidad Chambers had to grow and develop. I'm not saying that Landon Clark does not have the potential to reach those heights. We don't know that yet. But I know this. The Trinidad Chambers that's at practice at Ole Miss today is not the same Trinidad Chambers that showed up to Ole Miss a year ago. He grew over the course of that season. He wasn't the starter coming out of fall camp for a reason. So let's not look at Landon Clark and think that we should be expecting to get some level of Sam Leavitt. That is not the case. We're getting Landon Clark. Getting Hassan Longstreet, and I know a lot of people said the same thing. 5-star, big arm, kid has a potential. Why else would he come here? He gets to take the reps. We all started just thinking that this kid was going to come in and be the 2 and potentially push Sam Leavitt for his starting job. I did too. I said those advantages that he was going to have were going to be amazing. Well, guess what? He's got to push Landon Clark for his job. It's a learning process. Now, there are a lot of great things, great pieces that this offense has right now, but the piece that you don't have is Sam Leavitt. And I'm okay that Sam Leavitt is missing the remainder of the spring right now. 1, we expected it. 2, he was already out there throwing dimes. You've seen the highlights on Twitter, on Instagram. That beautiful one-hand catch that Jabari Mack had. Sam Leavitt threw that ball. He put that ball in the only spot it could be in. Sam Leavitt has been working and training with these receivers since he's shown up here. I know that because I asked him for myself. Him and Trey Brown. They have a relationship. They have rapport. They're starting to develop chemistry. I'm not concerned about him missing the remainder of spring. Because you can learn, especially a quarterback, can learn a lot by watching, hearing, seeing pre-snap. And then practicing against this defense, these quarterbacks will not see a secondary this talented at any point on this schedule. That's what's going to make the difference. We can go back to the times when Jaden was here, and especially during that Heisman season, and we would hear how the offense was just dominating. I'm going to touch on that in a second, my guy. What's going on? Thank you for being here. And the offense was just dominating. Well, if you're constantly hearing the offense is dominating, that's bad. Because one, you had your full complement of a defense. And while they were not going to see an offense that talented, the fact that they couldn't make any progress lets you know it was just too easy for the offense. Last year in training camp, we all kept hearing how the defensive line just looks so great. To me, that sounds like a blaring alarm if I'm constantly hearing that the D line just sounds good. Because at some point, the offensive line should have a practice where it's like, damn it, hey, they handed the ball off for 5 yards. They handed the ball off for 4 yards. Hey, they popped off a 6-yard run. No, it was either a 1-yard run, 2-yard run, or a 70-yard run. That's not good. And what did we see happen? The offensive line was bad. It wasn't that the defensive line was good. The offensive line was bad. This offense, they for as great as this defense is, this offense is still making plays with the backup quarterback. Or quarterbacks. Starter's not here. When we get in the fall camp, promise you, the offense will start making strides, but it's going to be few and far between where the offense will be just dominating the day. Talked to Brayton Fehoko a couple days ago, and he even told me in 2019, in the spring, he knew that 2019 team was different because of how elite the offense was that early. They couldn't stop them. They had moments, but he remembers one practice specifically where they went 45 minutes in a row and Joe Burrow scored on 9 straight drives. Sliced them up. But they still had their moments, and that's what you want to hear. You want to be able to hear that, okay, with as good as this defense is, the offense is still finding cracks with the backups. That's what will propel them forward. They're not going to face this type of defense in the season. My guy Isaiah asked what's going on with Trenton Henderson and Kalaj Cobbins. So, with the injury of Gabe Relaford, the development of those two specifically is going to be very vital. Now, I have not been hearing much of Kalaj. As a matter of fact, let me pull up some of these stats to see if he made if any defensive stats were recorded for them from this scrimmage today. And I will say I'm getting my stats and information from Preston Guy over at tigerbait.com. Please go support my guy. Let's see. So it looks like he just made some notes for the defense, but no real stats were taken or accounted for, just mainly offensive stats, which we will get to here in a second. I'm not going to disclose all the stats because it is paid content, and I'm not going to give away everything. I will talk about some really important things that have already been shared publicly for free from other places. But as far as the detailed stuff, plays, notes on players who look sharp, who had a lot of yards, you're gonna have to go directly to him if you want those. What's up? Yeah, I love Preston. Preston is my guy, man. Like I'm actually gonna get Preston on here one of these days soon. So we're working on that. But as far as Trenton Henderson, I've heard a lot of great things about. No, I don't think Big Rich will be the opening day starter. But I can tell you now, like starting doesn't matter. Like especially for a defensive line, like that doesn't matter. Like it. We'll talk about that in a second because it's gonna build off of what I'm talking about with Kalaj and Trenton Henderson. Trenton Henderson and Kalaj Trenton Henderson is making waves. Trenton Henderson is making his name known. He's making his presence felt. He's still a freshman, but the impact of this incoming freshman class, him, Deuce Geralds, and Big Richard, they are literally setting the world on fire right now. So I would expect Trenton Henderson to get some run, especially considering that Gabe Relaford got hurt. With the injury to Gabe Relaford, I think it pushes Lamar Brown straight into edge. He is going to be an edge, but he's going to mix in all over. It's going to give him multiple front along the defense. He will play all across the defensive line. The dude is an athletic freak. If you've never watched Lamar Brown play in person, it is a treat. That kid is special. But the only freshman I think right now that has a true chance to start is Deuce Gerald's, just because of the plays that he's been making every single day consistent. Deuce Gerald's will fill heavily into the rotation, but this is something that I talked about going in the spring. Him and Rich are going to be major contributors on this defensive line. It's why I say starting doesn't matter. Like, you're going to get minutes and the opportunities to play will be there. Being the first person to have your hand in the dirt don't mean anything. The only time that really means something is for the offensive line and for the quarterback. Like, Prince Muhammad was not a starter at Ole Miss last year. So don't ever put that, don't ever care about that too much. Like, especially on the defensive line. Like, don't focus too much on who's going in first, who's not. Randy says, how far behind will Lamar Brown be starting in the fall since U-High won't let them? I don't think he's going to be that far as physically in the training that he's putting in. He's working with BT Jordan, who's probably the most elite pass rush developer that they have in the nation. He's doing a lot of the lifting and stuff that needs to be done off-site. And he's at the practice field almost every day. He just can't physically participate. But he's there. He's there. And as far as early enroll, he can't early enroll. U-High, which is so unforgivable that this is the lab school for LSU, does not allow their players to early enroll because they have to go through the full senior year and graduate in May. It's crazy. Isaiah Dowry in the chat says, I also feel like Eugene Wilson will be so good for us at wide receiver. I heard he has the best route runner on the team. Curious to know more about him and Winnie Watkins. Heard a lot of great things so far about Trey Wilson, about Eugene Trey Wilson. He's crushing it. And like you said, his route running has been absolutely elite. But the best and most consistent wide receiver that we've seen so far through spring has been one Winnie Watkins. Winnie crushed it today, even having a 90-yard touchdown reception, apparently. Now, look, I wasn't there, so I'm just reading the reports, watching other podcasts and streams, and just bringing this information to you guys. Like I said, Preston's got some stats that he compiled for himself. It was handwritten notes, and shout out to him. Please, look, go support this man. They got a special right now where you can get a trial for $1 for a week on TigerBait.com, $10.95 a month after that. Like, it's literally 2 cups of coffee from Starbucks to get some of the best information out there when it comes to covering LSU on a granular level. And it's, Preston keeps it real. He's a guy. He's a guy just like us. Winnie Watkins is fast. He's smooth, an elusive route runner, who can make people miss and has breakaway speed. Check out some of his highlight film from him being in high school. He's not the type of receiver that's going to, really win contested catches too much, but he's a crisp route runner. He finds ways to get open, and when he does and gets in the open field, you better watch out. It's a show. It's a show. Like, for instance, today, Preston logged him with the stat line of having 8 receptions for 148 yards, including a 90-yard touchdown pass from Husan Longstreet. So Winnie's been having a day, multiple days, for multiple weeks. And he should. He's the most experienced wide receiver in this system, having played in it literally a year ago. He's the most familiar with George McDonald, Charlie Weiss Jr., and Lane Kiffin. So he should be putting up these kind of numbers. But I still think, to me, personally, the best receiver that will be on this team will be Jace Brown from Kansas State. And watch out for Jackson Harris. In the red zone, Trey'Dez Green and Roman Mothershed will be matchup nightmares. you have loads of weapons. Like you're gonna. It's not like what we've been accustomed to with having a Brian Thomas Jr. and a Malik Neighbors, having a Kyron Lacey and a Chris Hilton that we're looking for to complement, having Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Now, you got about 6 wide receivers that are going to be dynamic. I mean, you can put a Winnie Watkins, a Trey Wilson, a Jace Brown, a Jackson Harris, a Roman Mothershed, a Philip Wright, a Jabari Mack, a Corey Barber. You can, all these guys can play. All these guys can play. So, like, it's just enjoy it because it's going to be fun, especially at the speed that they're going to play the game with. I will say it's going to take a little bit of time to get accustomed to for it, but this is going to be a team that you don't want to play late. You want to have them early in the schedule. But I think that also benefits us when we're going up against teams like Ole Miss too, because I think they're going to be a team as well that you want to play early and not late. And we'll both be kind of figuring things out with where these squads, stand. Ole Miss will have the advantage in the fact that they're returning their quarterback and running back, but we have the coach that knows that quarterback and running back very well. So, and our defensive coordinator just played against that same quarterback and running back and held them in check. So, more confident than ever going into Oxford. I'm fine. Isaiah asked, why do you think Landon Clark has been getting first team reps over Longstreet? Longstreet has better decision making, in my opinion. In all honesty, I wish I could answer that question. Maybe it comes down to the read option plays. Maybe it comes down to the experience. Maybe it comes down to throwing motions. I'm not there to see the practices, and then for even the people that are there, they're not there for the entire practice. There's the team reps that they see from what I've heard from the reporting is it's literally at the start of practice, it's 6 plays. They call it quick 6, and that's it. So who knows what happened in the film room? Who knows what's going on in Indy? Indy is the short version of individual periods. Who knows what's going on in those areas to present Landon with that opportunity to get more first team reps. Who knows? But I mean, when it comes to that kind of thing, like once again, it's spring, it's early. It truly, to me, at this point, doesn't matter because your true starting quarterback is not out there. And if Sam Levitt was out there, how concerned would we be with who would be getting the lion's share of the backup reps? Because they're still getting a lot of reps, whether you're with the ones or the twos, because they split the teams up. Ones are on one field, twos on another. So you're still getting a ton of work. So it's not like, on like an NFL team, for instance, where the ones have to get 10 reps and the backups get like 3. It's not like that. They're running simultaneous practice when they're in team drills. So they're getting the same amount of volume and opportunity. So, don't be overly concerned with that. And as far as like working with receivers, I mean, hell, Winnie was working with the twos today. Like that 90-yard touchdown pass came from Hussein Longstreet. It just happens, so don't stress too much over that. And once again, it's April 11th. It's April 11th. We now have 20 Saturdays until college football. There's still so much time. There's so much time and not a lot of time at the same time. Like we're in a good part of the season where spring's about to wrap up, school's about to end, summer's gonna be here. It'll be real off-season work, and we get through the dog days of June and July, and before you know it, we back in fall camp. Fall camp rolls around, and guess what? 2 weeks from there, we talking about Clemson. Time is gonna fly. So just take all this stuff from a 10,000-foot view, appreciate it for what it is, and we just gonna roll with it and have fun. Isaiah says, okay, one more question. I have a lot. It's all good, man. Ask them away. How do you feel about Spears playing the star position? Initially, I thought Benefield. So I'm glad you asked this. I thought Ty Benefield would have been a better star myself too. So I agree with you. But from what I'm hearing, there isn't just one person playing the star. There's a free, like Tamarcus Cooley's basically playing a free or a nickel, and then they kind of rotate based on the strength. So wherever the side of the field dictates the star to be, Ty Benefield and Deshaun Spears are bumping down. So they're both kind of playing that star position. It's just kind of splitting based on the alignment of the offense. I will say though, if you go back and watch the Houston game, watch the bowl game, if you truly want to, I know it's hard to say that. The one player who did stand out in that game from start to finish was 10. He flashed. He was all over the field. And what position was he playing? Star. He was what we were missing on defense that we didn't even know that we were missing. We needed to see more of him at star than we did Harold Perkins. So I think him playing the star is something that we can be comfortable with. Is just, I know coming into LSU, he was the top 2 or 3 safeties in the country. He has great off-ball skills, and he's a rangy athlete. So we were all hoping to kind of see that play into fruition. But you put a guy like that who does have ball skills, who can go sideline to sideline and can cover anything in the slot, that becomes a matchup nightmare for you on defense. So, look, Blake Baker is the highest paid defensive coordinator right now, I believe, in college football. So let him make his decisions. And guess who's coaching your stars this year? Blake Baker. Blake Baker's coaching the stars, and Chris Kiffin is the one who's coaching the linebackers, your co-defensive coordinator. And from what, we've been hearing from practice is that Blake has been roaming around a lot when he doesn't have to dedicate his entire time to the stars, and Chris Kiffin has been locked in with the linebackers. So you basically have a head coach of the offense and a head coach of the defense. And I can't wait to see how this dynamic is going to work out, because I've seen it in high school football work out on an elite level. You've seen it in other universities and programs work out at an elite level. And now you're getting that same opportunity to see it here. You see it work out in the pros. You're seeing that be brought to you here at LSU and on campus in Baton Rouge. And I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. We're being set up for a sustained amount of success. And that's what's most exciting. If anything, what I'm getting the most out of this spring is getting the insights on how the coaches are approaching things with this team, and how we can look into the foundation that's being laid. Like BK talked about the path, right? And we all kind of bought into it. But this isn't just a path. This is a process, and it's very thorough, from evaluation to recruiting to negotiating to signing to working out to practicing to organizing practice. All of it. It's very thorough, that the process is from top to bottom, and it's phenomenal to see it in action. Isaiah asked, can we talk about the emergence of P.J. Woodland? This is a guy that BK didn't even want on the field on first and second down, and now he's starting at boundary. I respect PJ not giving up on himself. Absolutely. Think about this. PJ Woodland was such a dog. You moved off from the cornerback that led the SEC in pass breakups. Ashton Stamps led the entire conference in PBUs and could not get on the field because of a 3-star cornerback just saying, nah, bruh, this mine now. And shout out to Stamps because he's going out to Arizona State and he is doing his thing over there. But what I will say, though, is PJ Woodland is really a guy. This is like having Derek Stingley and Christian Fulton. We all knew what Derek Stingley was coming in. 5-star. Number 1 cornerback in the country. Started as a true freshman. Christian Fulton was just like, man, this guy's going to be good. No, that guy was elite. Turned out to be better than what we thought. PJ Woodland, I think, is on that same trajectory. PJ Woodland is on that same trajectory. You have your Derek Stingley and DJ Pickett, who is just an athletic freak. Well, I mean, 6'5", rangy corner. That's unfair. Excuse me. And then you got PJ Woodland on the other side. So, no, you're absolutely right, Isaiah. Like that's what makes this defense so good is the emergence of a PJ Woodland, right? You have 2 legitimate lockdown corners, 3 airtight sideline to sideline safeties, the 2 leading tacklers in the SEC at linebacker, who are both seniors. This defense is going to be ridiculous. And I'm okay with that. Isaiah says, I will say the only thing that PJ that I don't love is the fact that he's very handsy and can cause a lot of PI calls. Yeah, I mean, that's something that you got to live and die by. Like it's annoying. It is true, but pass interference is very subjective too because it can go both ways. It just more times than not leans towards the side of the defense. But at least we ain't getting bullied. I love aggressive defense. I played defense in high school. My son plays defense right now. I've coached defense. You make them call it. Most aggressive press man cover corner coaches will tell you make the referees call it. They're not gonna call every single call. They're gonna slow the game down. They're not gonna call them all. So and then in college, it's only 15 yards. So at least it ain't 40 like in the pros. So make them call. I don't care. I want to be aggressive. I want to be in your face. I want you to know I'm not going anywhere. Everywhere you go, I'm going to be right here. So make them call it. I look forward to it. And I can tell you right now, I can't wait. I cannot wait to get to football season. God knows I cannot wait to get to football season. Isaiah says, what's your expectations on DJ Pickett this year? How good do you expect him to be? Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to top first team All-American as a true freshman, or a true freshman All-American, and to be the nation's best true freshman defensive player of the year. That's high honors. I would expect him to be some type of an All-American this season, at least All-Conference, right? First team All-Conference. That would be my expectations for DJ Pickett this year. He's a true sophomore. He's gonna hit a wall. He's gonna have a moment. You know, like the Houston game, he's gonna have a moment. There's gonna be some young mistakes. You know, like going full time of being the guy now instead of just rotating in with PJ Woodland and having a Mansour Delane on the opposite side. Um, so I think, like you got to think about it. When that Houston game came along, Isaiah asked, he didn't play well in the Houston game. What do you think he did wrong? The Houston game was the first big time game without Mansour Delane. Mansour had missed a couple games leading up to it, but it wasn't against like true Power Five opponents. And Houston, while not the best, I forgot who the quarterback's name was, but he played at Texas A&M last year. LSU put him on the bench. You're playing a former SEC starting quarterback who's got multiple years of Connor Wegman. You're playing a quarterback who's accustomed to playing that level of competition. You're a true freshman playing in game 14 after a 4-week period of not playing. It's hard to turn it off, turn it back on when you're just used to constantly going, and then you hit that wall in December where it's like, all right, I'm off. Your mind and your body is settling in to being off. Then not only are you not off, you got to get back in the game mode. And now you're the guy. You're playing in a role that you hadn't played in all year. So it was easy for him to get, kind of picked on in that situation. I don't think it was just him, like playing bad. I just think it was an accumulation of a lot of bad things that took place in that moment, and him being young especially. So not just giving him the excuse of, oh, he was young, that's white. It was a lot. And shout out to the Cougars for having a good play, a good scheme to attack him in the right areas, make him second guess what he was looking at, because that's what it came down to, right? Like you got him mixed up and confused sometimes, and they took advantage of it. That's you got a veteran quarterback and a veteran coach in Willie Fritz. And that's it. It just seemed like, Isaiah says, just seemed like they saw something on film because they kept picking on him. PJ played the best. Yeah, that's exactly it. They took advantage of him. And that's what they're supposed to do. I mean, you got a true freshman cornerback out there covering the side of the field where you're literal, who I think, Thorpe Award-winning corner, first cornerback drafted in the draft upcoming, was playing. Now he's playing in that role. That's no role that he had a few weeks to get adjusted to when Mansour had all season. And like I said, this is a time of the year where he is accustomed to starting to wind down because he's not playing anymore because he's been playing in high school. It's hard to make that adjustment. I don't think we will see a game like that out of DJ Pickett. Not to say he won't have a bad game. I don't think we'll see a game to that level. I think he'll be more prepared. I think he'll be more accustomed to how these things work now, and he'll be more mentally acclimated to the length of the season to make that type of adjustment going into bowl games, especially because we're expecting them to play in the playoffs. So you're talking about, let's say they don't make it to the SEC championship and they have to play that first game, which I want. I don't want LSU with a bye. Don't want it. I want LSU with a home playoff game in Baton Rouge, in Death Valley. So let's say you get a week off for the SEC championship and then the next week you're starting the playoffs. Great. That's amazing for your defense. That's amazing for a guy like DJ Pickett. Oh, so what's going on? What's up, Caucasian Sasquatch? Appreciate you being here, brother. I got your email, man. I'm going to get back with you on tomorrow evening. Unc says, do you see the defense being even better this year than last? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why, Unc. Your leading sack, the person who led you in sacks this year had 4.5 sacks. It's terrible. 4.5 sacks. So you bring in a guy like Prince William Yellen who already had 9. So the expectation right there is for him to at least hit that mark. You bring in a guy like Jordan Ross who has pure speed off the edge, something that you really didn't have coming off the edge, especially once Gabe Rutherford got hurt against Southeastern in the third week of the season. And you had to rely on Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn, who were not pass rushers. They just weren't elite pass rushers. So you had to design blitzes. A defense plays better when you can generate a pass rush with just 4. Because now, not only can I blitz you, you don't know where the blitz is coming. Pressure isn't necessarily pressure, it's simulated pressure because I'm dropping 2 off the line of scrimmage, bringing 2 more from off the ball, mixing things, confusing the offensive line. And now that's when Blake Baker can really get in his bag. So if we are going to blitz, now we can just blitz and rush 4, still drop 7, and have fun. You can move your deep, and then you got corners on both sides who can play press man. So you can make your man coverage look like zone. You can make your zone coverage look like man. So your pre-snap reads change once the ball is snapped because it doesn't look the same. So I think that's all going to help elevate this defense and take it to the next step, especially because of what you've done just in the edge room alone. Not to mention the addition of Ty Benefield to go along with Deshaun Spears. Look, we all love Harold Perkins. But think about this. Our star role went from Major Burns to Harold Perkins, and now you're getting Deshaun Spears. Deshaun Spears is light years ahead of both of them. That's going to unlock this defense too. Harold Perkins couldn't really cover. We didn't really have a true position for him to play. We messed that up. We couldn't find the right, more consistent thing for him to excel and let his athleticism shine. So now you're getting a guy who can legitimately play this star role to its fullest potential. So that's going to unlock the defense as well. So your back end gets to complement your front end. And now your defense can play as a full unit. So, yeah, I do see this defense taking a major step forward. And then you're going up against the coach who's going to run the fastest offense all season. You get to go up against that coach every day in practice. And that is going to have your defense set up for anybody who tries to go fast, because nobody's going to go as fast as Lane Kiffin. They can't. And he even said that. So what's going to feel fast to opposing offenses will feel like normal for your defense. It won't be surprised by that. So, yeah, that just makes it better all the way around the board. Isaiah says we need more depth at corners, though. It's now or never for Michael Turner Jr. Yes, I said that too to kind of start things off. Like, while your secondary is elite, it's not deep. Your frontline guys are amazing. It's the best secondary probably in the country. But if one injury happens, I'm nervous. And then you had an injury from Aiden Anding today where he had to get a boot and get fitted for crutches. So hopefully it's just a sprain. And Aiden Anding has been performing very well. So we need to make sure that not only these guys continue to develop, which I have no doubt in my mind that with Corey Raymond that they will, but not only that they develop, but they continue to stay healthy. That's the most important thing about this spring that I want. For guys to just stay healthy. I mean, Richard Anderson was out there today, and he was just mainly doing agility work, which lets me know that he's dealing with some injuries. He's a little banged up. Just want these guys to stay healthy, man. Let me give you guys some of the big stats that y'all need to hear from this scrimmage that took place in Tiger Stadium today. The teams ran, what Preston said was about 124 plays. From what other reporting says, it was about 19 possessions, with the starters running 9, the twos running about 6, and then the threes running 3, I believe. That's how it broke down. 3 or 4. So Sam Levitt was there with the jersey and the helmet. But here are the stats that you need to hear. Hassan Longstreet was 20 or 34, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, two interceptions. Landon Clark, 14-27, 160 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Emil Picarella, 10 of 18, 114 yards with a touchdown. Combined, 44 of 79, 580 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. Your defense picked off the offensive quarterbacks 5 times. Now, like I said, I'm not going to divulge too much further in the rest of these stats. A lot of these, especially the quarterback stats, have been released by other people. But I know that Preston is the only one that has this, so y'all go sign up for Tiger. It's $1. It's $1. Go support my guy. But yeah, like 3 picks, crazy work. Crazy work. Especially coming off of the practice where we saw him throw that lob pickup to Tamarcus Cooley where it was just a bad decision. Like, it's crazy work, man. And from what I've heard, a couple of them like were really damn good plays. Like, just the cornerbacks making plays. So your defense is elite, and you're missing your starting quarterback. You had 5 interceptions in this scrimmage. Sam Levitt didn't have 5 interceptions all last season. And look, I get it. He was hurt. But hell, even the season before that, he had, I think, 7 or 8. Sam Levitt doesn't turn the ball over. And that's why I know for a fact he's the guy that Lane wants. That's the key. Austin Simmons got hurt, but Austin Simmons also was throwing interceptions last year too. Trinidad Chambliss was not throwing picks. That's what kept him his job. Miss a couple reads, have a couple bad throws, but he was not thrown into the other team. And that's what matters. Isaiah says, it's tough to tell early, but would you take Ty Benefiel over AJ Halsey? Yes. 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 And here's why. AJ was great. AJ's going to be a really good pro. Ty Benefield did more, and he has more size and more skill set. He's faster. If you need him in the box, he can be in the box. If you need him off the ball, he can be off the ball. If you need him covering the slot, he can cover in the slot. AJ can't give you all that. And look, I love AJ Halsey. I want the Saints to draft AJ Halsey if they don't draft Caleb Downs. For me, it's Caleb Downs, Keontae Scott, or AJ Halsey, or Mansour Delane. Those are 4 corners or DBs I'd love to see the Saints select. But yeah, Ty Benefield is better. He's an upgrade. And it's not close. Like, if you see Ty Benefield's name being mentioned as a Jim Thorpe finalist, don't be shocked. That's how good this kid is. Go watch his tape at Boise State. Even when they were in the playoff, 0 pops off the camera. He's everywhere. Like, that dude's special, man. I'm sad we only get to see him for 1 season. So, like I started the show with, yeah, the offense should be struggling right now. It is what it is. You're missing your starting quarterback. Excuse me. You're missing your starting quarterback, and the defense has more of an advantage. Coaching staff has been here the entire time. You have more unity and solidarity in the defensive backfield. Your defensive backfield is probably the best in the country. Your linebackers are the most experienced that you've ever had on this campus since Devin White and Patrick Queen. Like, it's the defense is elite. And I'm telling you right now, Isaiah, I know you said in the chat, I can't wait to play Clemson. We slide Clemson. We slide Clemson. Give me the over. Whatever the plus minus is set at, give me the minus. If it's set at 5, give me 5. Bump it to 7. LSU beats Clemson. And it's not fun for Clemson. I think LSU is going to put up 40 on Ole Miss. That Ole Miss game is going to be ugly. But you might see Lane pull out his best coaching job in that game. Just because the emotions are going to get so high, he might be reserved. So, and he says, don't sleep on those Clemson wide receivers. They're going to be a real good matchup for our DBs. Yeah, I don't care about them. I don't care about them. I saw them last year against this an LSU team that was worse. And they had a better quarterback in Cade Klubnik, who was more experienced. I don't care. Clemson is on a slide. And while they're fit for the ACC, don't care about them. Look, y'all, my wife just got home. I'm going to sign off. I've been going on for an hour. I wasn't intending to go that long. But we're going to get to it tomorrow. I'll see y'all in the morning after church. Love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of this night. Thank y'all for being here. Isaiah, make sure you hit that button. Subscribe for me. We got more content coming. You want to peek in? You want to say hello? Okay. And make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter at AJP413. We got more content coming on the way, man. Thank you, Unc. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the morning in the chat. Love y'all, boys. Y'all make sure y'all hit the button. Pay attention. We got some good Who Dat content coming as well, man. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Y'all didn't have to. It's almost 11 o'clock. Be the difference that you want to see in the world. Make a smile. Make sure that you hold a door for somebody. You can be the difference that you want to see. It's just got to start with you. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. See y'all later. Thank you, Isaiah. I appreciate it, man. We out.